Hey y'all, it's Dalanie.
And it's Katie. This is Classically Black Podcast,
where we talk all things classical music and being black in the profession.
with trap beats playing in the background. Dalanie laughing at me because I'm trying to read 17 books by the end of the year.
It's 17?
Because I have to finish the book I'm on right now to be 14.
Because Katie made a goal for, 30 books? Mm-hmm. And then realized it, like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. And we've had this conversation every week, and notice how the number hasn't changed much.
Because I don't know. I know you said it's not going to work if you... I could see why it wouldn't work if you carried it over, but it's kind of like it is what it is.
Because it's like, if I'm kind of like an is what it is person. Like, if I make 30, like, it's going to be 30 next year, you know? But it's like, what if I did make the 30? We're planning a 24-hour readathon, which I am also not confident that we'll finish.
24 hours is kind of insane.
I'm so if you don't know, there's a trend on TikTok where people read for 24 hours straight. Like, it's not like, no, it's 24 hours straight. You obviously can go to the bathroom, you could eat, whatever, but like, you read the whole time. One, I'm a sleepy girl, so that's, I already know I'm not gonna do well. Two, I'm not a night owl, so my eyes won't start shutting. Like, Dalanie already has that advantage, because like by the time midnight roll around, I'll be like, all right. And then also I have the attention span of a centipede, so
now that's where it's gonna get me, because I just can't.
Especially reading, like it's like we have a tap out. We said we could tap out.
I wonder how long we really finna make it.
How long you think we finna make it? We should vlog it for Classically Black so y'all can see.
I have no idea, because it's like, I do plan on having a couple books. I really only am planning to read 4 more books before the end of the year, because I just finished one. So I think I'm only planning to read 4 more books before the end of the year, and one of them I won't be touching for this because it's a Christmas book and I want to read it around Christmas.
I have a couple Christmas books on my list I'm gonna get from Target. I saw they had a bunch.
Yeah, so I guess I'm only really doing 3 books, I guess, but maybe I'll pick up another one just in case I finish. But no, because I'm reading. I forgot I'm in the middle of reading that other one. So I guess I have 5. So I'm reading 6 more books before the end of the year, including the one I'm in the middle of right now. Because I just finished one. It's funny because the one I'm in the middle of right now, I finished 2 or 3 books in the span of being in the middle of that one. Because it's nonfiction. It's not boring.
Yeah,
but I just fell out of step with it. So
I'm bringing a lot of books to that thing just because I'm also worried about like reading all day. So I'm gonna bring. I just have a lot of unfinished business. Lots of unfinished business. Like, one book I've been reading for literally, do I remember what they're doing? I've been reading that book for like a year and a half. Like, they both die at the end. It's a YA book. So like, Spare, which I don't even know if I'm gonna bring Spare, to be honest, because I don't want to spend the whole day finishing Spare. Spare is like New King James Version. Like, it's so thick, and it's like, do I want to spend the whole time? Because my whole thing with this, also, I want to see if I could do it. I like reading, and also like I want to see if I can like get some numbers up, and I'm not gonna be able to do that if I spend the whole time with Prince Harry, 12 hours with Prince Harry. And if we make it to 5 hours, I'll be surprised. Maybe 6.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, genuinely, I don't
like going straight
through. And like, but we're doing 50. Are we doing 15-minute hours? Did we decide on that?
Oh yeah, we didn't decide, but maybe, because I feel like, a benefit of bringing it would be like, you can switch through.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch through. That. I'm trying not to stay married, and also like, you made a good point. I did want to reread some of Mindy's books. It's just so good. That might be a good. I want to read Quinta's book. I'm bringing new books as well, just to keep hope alive. But I'm not confident in our ability to complete this task. Like, it sounds good in theory, but 24 hours is a long time.
Like, a really long time. Because
like, think about it, like 12 hours ago, it was 4 a.m. And we would have to go 12 more hours.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Plus, I'm so stubborn, but I won't be stubborn about it. I'm going into it because I'm not doing it alone. So I'm going in like, I'm not gonna be like, when we call it, we call it.
24 hours kind of
24. Like, we're starting at like 10.
And I'm just worried also because, like, at a certain point, you know, like, when you're reading but you're not really reading anymore.
You can try immersive reading. The girls are doing that. It's where you listen to the audiobook and read along.
Yeah, read along.
I don't know if I would like that. I'm not a fast reader, but I think I will read fast in the audio. And it's like, of course, well, you can speed it up, but then it sounds like a robot. Like, people listen to, I'm not really like I'm never in a rush, like, just by nature. So I never listen to stuff like on 2x speed or whatever. Like, a professor at Eastman told me that he listens to all his podcasts on 2x speed.
That's so funny because you talk fast.
Yeah, but I just, like, when I listen to a podcast, I just want to be in it. I just want to be like.
But you talk fast, but you don't think other people talk slow. So it is normal, right?
Yeah, I don't think other people talk slow. I haven't really noticed. Yeah. I never saw someone like, dang, you talk slow. But I just rather, like, I want to be, if I'm listening to something, I just want to be in it, like a podcast, especially like a lot of audiobooks. They're like not just reading it, like they, like, a lot of audiobooks are very good. Like when it's like produced, like, like the Children of Blood and Bone audiobook. Oh, I hope she won a Grammy for that one. Like when it's like. Yeah, but I don't know. I might try immersive reading, but I don't know if I care enough. I'd rather just do one or the other.
Yeah, I'm really just because I feel like at a certain point my brain finna turn into mush because I don't like that feeling when I keep reading a sentence over and over again. No matter how many times I read it, I'm not comprehending what it's saying, and I don't want to move on because then I'm gonna forget what happened, whatever. And that's my thing about the whole 17 books before the end of the year. So how much you really gonna enjoy it?
But the thing is, like, that last what I'm counting on, I think that last little week of the year, like, where, like, nothing's happening last year, I was so tired of rotting in my room. I read, like, 5 or 6 books. So it's like, if I do that plus, okay, if I rot in my room the last week of the year, okay, and I do, like, 5, that leaves me with 11. That's not bad. 11's not bad. It's not great. But it's not bad. And then if I do 5, at the readathon in 2 weeks, okay. And then if I finish the book I'm on, so it's 4 or 5, we're at 10. Oh, girl. And then if I finish the book I'm on this week, and if I read another book next week, that's 12. I only need 4 more. Yeah, you know what that felt like? That felt like when I used to work at Jewel Osco, which is a grocery store. And it's like you have a 7-hour shift. It's like, okay, well, it's 12 now, so I gotta do is get to 1, and then when I get to 1, I'm already at 2, and then and it was basically 4, and I'm on break at 5, and then by the time it's 6, it's 7. That's what that just felt like. Like it's, but I just like, I don't know. I'm kind of like,
I mean, yeah. I think you could do it.
Let me read tonight because I had told don't read at night. I'm going through that. I cycle through my bedtime routine, and right now I'm on I want to watch a show I don't have to think about until I fall asleep, which has been The Proud Family.
Because I'm like, I mean, your last week is like you not doing nothing, but then it's like it's just gonna be looming over you. Like I gotta. Yeah,
it's a thing. I wasn't thinking about it last year. I think last year I just happened to read 21 books, and I was like, what if I made it 30? And now I'm at where I'm at. So.
I wonder if I should make, because I didn't have a goal. I didn't have a goal until about a month, no, less than a month ago. Like maybe 2 weeks ago, I was like, okay, I'm going to pick the 5 or 6 more books for the end of the year.
Ooh, if I do a poetry book, now I'm cooking with grease.
Now I just got a children's book.
And if I read Goodnight Moon.
I'm about to say, Goodnight. Yeah.
And A Hungry Caterpillar.
Right.
Banger.
Right. What's it? Rainbow Fish. Amelia Bedelia.
Oh, that's a little long. I want to read them with Little House on the Prairie books again. Yeah. I'm going to figure it out. Because Harry Potter, it's still long, also a little scary. I was like, what happened to YA? What happened to, I'm such a weenie when he was in the chamber and Tom Riddle came behind him. I was a kid. We have to remember that Harry Potter's a kid. Some of the stuff that got that boy going through, I said, me as an adult, I could not do. Dalanie, he went down in the Chamber of Secrets. He went down into the Chamber of Secrets. And he was looking for, what's that thing called? that big old snake. I forgot what it was called. Someone listens like, I forgot what it's called. But anyway, that's gonna bother me. Anyway, there's a big old snake guarding the Chamber of Secrets. U12 and a big old 20-foot snake is there, and then you got this other man, Tom Riddle. He's like a ghost thing, so he's not completely there. He's like kind of outlined, but he's getting more power. So he's exactly, you're 12. Nah. And then you got so many ghosts and stuff like that, and then they was throwing rocks at him when he was playing Quidditch. Like this, he's 12. Like, did we forget the plot? Like, does no one care about their health? Like, it's just, I had to be like, oh, we gonna have to. I forgot I was scared of this. Like, I was like, oh,
I'm gonna try some fantasy type stuff next year, but I don't know if I want to read Harry Potter. But
there's so many good, especially there's so many black fantasy. Oh my god, I will 1,000 times over and over recommend Children of Blood and Bone. So good that Gina picked it up. It's gonna be a movie. They're casting now in Nigeria, which I love. Like, just very. There's so many black fantasy. I tried to read one. Fantasy kind of loses me a little bit because it's also like that whole, especially like fantasy romance. Like, why are you having sex with goblins? Like, it's just kind of like a lot to me. I've only dipped my toe in fantasy as in Harry Potter and Children of Blood and Bone.
I was gonna say because I was just reading about like N.K. Jemisin and stuff, and she has I have a book, and it's a book of short stories that is different like authors of color reimagining like the U.S. But they're all fantasy authors and stuff. But like there's like that type of fantasy, I forget what they call it, where it's like it's rooted in the real world with fantasy elements.
Magical realism. Magical realism.
Oh, probably.
Like that's a Raven's kind of magical realism.
Yeah,
like she has powers, you just accept the fact that she has powers.
Yeah,
because like why does she have powers?
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, like maybe something like that instead of like now y'all on the planet Zoopzorp and we across
some of the fantasy girls. I'm just like, first of all,
Diddly Ridley and we.
And you gotta be careful with the book talk girls because a lot of them are just freaky frogs. You know, you could just read erotica.
You saw that there was a video going around. It's going around on Twitter where like it was just these two girls and they was in the bookstore like talking about all these crazy books, and it was like, oh, this one is 25 series of alien smut. And I'm just like, what's going on?
Like literally, like remember this one girl was describing this plot to this book, and I'm just looking at her through the screen. I'm just like, you could just read erotica, girl. Like, you don't have to go out of your way to like find these books where it was just weird. It's like this girl, she ended up on a spaceship and the aliens, and then she went on some random, and everybody was having sex on the spaceship. I'm like, so you in a spaceship? You got abducted. And also it was kind of weird. It edges on like assault to me a little bit. Like with
that's what people were saying.
Exactly.
That some of these books, one of them, the girl was like, oh, he with
one of his hands
while he holding her, he drowning her in shark infested waters while they doing it. I'm like, what?
Like this, like the girl, she was like, and then he took his second mouth and he put. I was like, what? And went to this planet, and these creatures.
His second mouth,
girl, it gets weird. That's why I'm like, I don't know about that fantasy stuff. Like, if I'm doing fantasy, it's gonna have to be YA. Like, I just.
See, or just regular. I could do a regular fantasy. It don't have to be like no romance to it.
Yeah, like Children of Blood and Bone has no. I mean, there's romantical elements. They're kids, but it's not like they're kids. Yeah. So it's not, and that's also not the point of it. I was like,
I'm stuck on that. I'm just stuck on that for a minute. Second mouth is insane. Second mouth.
I'm telling you, girl.
What type of books y'all be reading?
I was looking at her like, just read erotica. Like, yeah, they went to some planet. I forgot. It's a very popular series, by the way. Like 9 or 10 books. Somebody know what I'm talking about. 9 or 10 books. They abduct all these people from Earth. They end up at some random planet, got all these creatures on it. They go into an ice cave or something like that. This dude got like 2 mouths and like 7 hands, something like that. And some more weird stuff like shedding skin, something. And he was like, and they fall in love and to get past the fangs and his second mouth. I'm just like, What?
You see how like stuff can go like because like technically something like I think I told you before we turned the mics on, like I'm rereading the Twilight Saga next year, and all of the books in it that I haven't read, like there's like another like smaller Bree Tanner book, and I was in the middle of finishing Midnight Sun, which is Stephanie Meyer ain't low because girl, you just milking us now. When she did Midnight Sun, which is literally the exact story of Twilight but from Edward's perspective. I'm gonna read all of those next year, and it's just like, was he human? No, but like it's not the same thing because like he was human, he presents human, like whatever, like he's technically he's a vampire, but like whatever. But then he got one mouth, okay?
So vampires are kind of part of like societal lore a little bit. Like, yeah, I did want to learn more about, because I had some ideas for something I wanted to write. I was like, because I know there's like a way that these worlds work. I'm not familiar with like elves and like
the nerds,
and the technically elves don't have powers technically, and actually, and by the way, so I said I was gonna like, and by the way. Shout out to the nerds, but girl, we don't care. Like,
right. What's the one that they always get? It's like teleportation and telepathy. People get those mixed up. They're like, well,
it's like, girl, first of all,
they are very different, but
it's like, girl. And that's why, like, J.K. Rowling's a terrible person. I wish her the absolute worst. Wow, I want her to burn in hell. I mean, she will. I don't have to want that. But she does a very good job at world building. Like, everything is very clear. It has to be. Like, there's a very specific way that, like, the world of Harry Potter works. Like, and all the powers, like, make sense. And, like, everything has a reason. Everything is, like, why is Dobby, like, why doesn't he, like, what is Dobby? Dobby is a troll. He's a freaking elf. Because elves are, like, very powerful. But they, like, they don't.
See, I'll be thinking of Santa's helpers.
That's the thing, because but they're oppressed, and it's like because they don't know how much power they have. Yeah, and Dobby, like, it's
ugly though,
ugly as hell, man, and annoying because he like Dobby was like leave me alone, like let Harry do his thing, like he wants to go back to school. I'm going, Harry, we don't want Harry Potter to go back to school. Don't go back to school. It's like, girl.
Also, I know the nerds probably cringe because I realized the error of my ways. Also, the ones that the people get mixed up, and it's funny because I just got it mixed up, is not teleportation and telepathy. It's teleportation, telekinesis. Those are the
telekinesis when you do stuff with your mind.
Yeah, but it's like there's a path to it. Like telekinesis is like if I move your cup from here, but we saw it travel. And teleportation is if I moved your cup from here, but I just zapped it.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like I want to see like.
And telepathy is if I talk to your mom right now.
I want to see like is there a book where like all of this stuff is written down, because I
oh yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah,
it's not funny but fun,
because like how do vampires work for real, like how do like I want to know about the work, because like the girl, it's just like there's a way the worlds work. You can build your own world as a writer, but it's like you just want to know the basics. I want to know and I have some stuff saved about elves and stuff, but it's like people just talking. I want to read something. Like tell me how elves, like how they do, like what powers do trolls have for real, like, you know what I'm saying.
I know N.K. Jemisin has a master class and she talks about world building, but you know it was so funny. I was just thinking about world building in a way that I've been exposed to it in a that I didn't really realize until recently is anime. Like some of it takes place in the real world, but like something like Naruto, like that is a world. Like there's certain rules and stuff that like you learn over time, and it's very interesting to see like how it's laid out, like because there are a lot of rules too. And I was thinking about like how I would explain some things that happen to somebody who hasn't seen it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is world building. Like this is a whole other thing. Like they're kind of like they're people, but like just the way that like the powers work and stuff, like you need to know like just things that you need to know. And I'm just like, oh yeah, this is like for a world building. Like, and yeah, so that's like, I mean, I don't know.
And even if you zoom out, like every TV show has a world. I mean, good TV shows have a world. Yeah. Like one of the best pieces of advice I got is that like every time a character speaks, they should speak in in the way that they would speak every time. Like, what's a good example? The Office is a perfect example. Like every time Jim speaks, it's like either like snarky or like sarcastic. And obviously there are moments where it's not like that, but like typical to Jim, like he's gonna be sarcastic. Like Michael's like kind of dumb, kind of stupid. He really wants to have friends. He really wants to, like, so everything, like every time Michael speaks, it's something that help that agenda. He wants to like have more friends. He wants to be like a better boss. Well, I don't know if he actually wants that, but definitely wants to have more friends. He definitely wants to stay in control. He definitely wants like his peers to like him.
Yeah.
And so everything Michael does is it's like it falls into like one of those categories. Like he wants someone to like him. Like he wants so, and like the office has specific rules, and like we know how that world operates, you know. And that's like a way more like, I think that's easier. I think like the hard stuff is like, okay, so can you fly, and like can you like what kind of powers do you have?
Because it's like one is like people, and I feel like I go back and forth about which one I think is harder. Because like with people, because we are people, like sometimes it is hard to dissect like people's intentions and their, like whatever. But it also depends on the type of characters. I don't think it's necessarily easier for a comedic character, but it just depends on the type of emotions that they're dealing with. Like can be very difficult. But with something like, I mean, I feel like I normally watch like adventure anime, and sometimes people have like like actual powers and stuff like that, and like why what do they have to do to get those powers and all that type of stuff is like things that's like kind of jargony, you know, like that. I'm like, it's just very interesting how I realized that it was Naruto I've been watching since, you know, I was a kid, so I haven't had to refresh my memory on it. But I started watching Jujutsu Kaisen, which is not really, it's a very popular anime. It's fairly new, and like people love it. It's not really my speed, but I'm not bored. But like I've noticed that it's kind of harder for me to grasp the world stuff because I'm not as into it. That's how. Well, I was like, oh, it's kind of, I don't know. It's just harder when you're not as. I don't know if maybe I'm just. I don't know if it's because I'm not interested, or if I'm just like, it's just harder. If maybe it's a world building thing. Like it could be easier to understand. I don't know. Anyway,
well, that was 20 minutes of not classically black. So ready to begin?
I mean, that's why we can low-key have us a little on the side.
Yeah. We should, but I kind of want like our listeners to like join us on our like reading thing. I mean, y'all are going to be a rehearsal probably, but the ones who not, oh no, it's going to be Black Friday.
Oh yeah.
Y'all should join us. You going to read for 24 hours, friends?
Yep.
Girl, I ain't reading for a I'll let y'all know when we tap out.
Yeah.
We should, we're not setting no minimum though. Cause like, what if we get to an hour and we hate it?
When I did my book vlog for that book about focus, I think I made it to an hour and 14 minutes.
Also, I know why with all due respect, I know why your weird behind wants to read my World of Rest and Relaxation. That was on a list of weird books.
It was on a list of weird books?
Weird books, yeah.
That's hilarious.
And then I was like, my Year of Rest and Relaxation. And this girl was doing like a list of like, what was the list? It was either like sad girl weird vibe books or whatever, and I was just like, that is so Dalanie. Like that's what, like I'm over here thinking like, oh, it's like a guide to like, you know, balance your chakras. No, it's this girl who wants to take, and even the plot, I'm like, Dalanie probably looking for ideas. Like it's like it's like what the girl like wants to figure out how she could sleep for an entire year.
Yeah,
that's weird. Not bad, weird, but like,
I told you it's like I found it on a list of Penguin Random. How sometimes I browse there, they have like editorial lists, and they had a sad girl literature thing, and I was like, I've never heard of this like genre, but it fit like, I'm like, oh, I think I like this, because like I also saw another list, somebody like on my Explore page had that book, and it also had Luster, which I said I love Luster, and I reread Luster once, I reread it this year, and I was like, I'll read this book every couple of years. I think it's funny because we was talking about it, and everything I mentioned about that book, you was like, oh, you would like, everything would like turn you off more. I was like, dang, that's kind of crazy.
I thought Luster about something else. I might even own Luster.
Yeah,
so it would just be decoration.
Well, you can add it to your, what's that? And it's a short book, sister.
I want to enjoy.
You might enjoy it. You might enjoy it.
Sad girl, that's not my vibe.
But you might enjoy.
I like romance.
Well,
I like
she
powers.
has an interest.
See, I like self-help. Not self-help, but like Yes Please. Amy Poehler's book is so good. What is that called? What kind of that? Well, that's like a memoir.
An essay.
Essays. Oh, I love an essay book. Yes Please is very good. I ate that up before I was a reader. Like before I really got into reading. Like, was I at Eastman yet? No, I was like in between ISU and Eastman, but I was obsessed with what's that show that she made? I was obsessed with that show, Parks and Rec, and I saw she had a book. I'm like, gonna read up. Ate that book up. I wasn't even a reader yet. That book is, well, I should read that again. I own it.
I have My Year of Rest and Relaxation. I read it. And I remember when I started reading that book because it was kind of after my slump in the middle of this year. And I was like, oh, I can't put this down. I love that book.
I was like, why you want to sleep for a year?
I mean, you get in her situation.
Because it's like a year. Like, I understand life be hard, but like, a year's a long time. You want to sleep for a whole year?
Yeah,
it's a waste.
Yeah, that's my speed. I loved that book.
My month of rest and relaxation.
A year. The way what she had going on was crazy.
Like,
ooh, shoot me that video though.
I try to find it. I was just like,
that's insane. That's why I'm like, when I get my situation together, I'm like, oh, you're not gonna like this. Because I want, my stuff to be like that. So, but yeah, we're gonna see. There's some stuff on the list that I found of sad girl literature that I'm like, I probably wouldn't want to read, because it's not sad. Like when you were talking about something like tragic, I'm like, oh, it's not tragic to me. I mean, so yeah, it depends. I don't like reading. I don't like doing things in my free time that are gonna make me sad, because
that's what Issa said on her interview.
Yeah, like I already got, like obviously like my life is great on the whole, and like whatever, but I just got some stuff, and I just don't like, I need to be very particular about how I manage my emotions. I don't really listen to sad music. I don't watch sad movies or all that type of stuff, like by and large. And so I'm not trying to read nothing that's, when people are like, this book left me in shambles, I'm like, no, because now I'm in my free time crying. Like that's just, I'm not doing that.
What's that book that everybody has been, Monday's Not Coming, when that girl like was at school, and then like for a week she wasn't there, no one noticed. I'm like, why am I reading that? Like, why y'all love books that's like, Monday's Not Coming is a very popular one. I'm not trying to get nothing that's gonna tear me up inside. Yeah, I'm good. Like,
but it's just like those books, they're just so, like, I just like the way,
I'm ready. I want to read a thriller. This is because
I got a recommendation. The book I read earlier this year was a thriller, technically, I think.
Oh, that one. I was trying to remember the one with the
It's called Waking Lions.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's the best book I read this year. I'm gonna do a blind ranking of the books I read this year. Like I'll like draw a number and like whatever. But of course, I already have a bit of an idea of the order. But
what's the best book I read this year? Oh, you know what? I didn't do that well this year. Like, these books were okay. I mean, a lot of these got 5 out of 5s. Oh, hands down, Before I Let Go by Candy Ryan was the best book I read this year. Between that and Beach Read. Emily Henry is very good. Normally, I don't really read a lot of YA authors, but Emily Henry, she's very good. But yeah,
we gonna see when we talked about we doing a book swap.
I'm trying to figure out I'm probably gonna make you read Candy Ryan, because I just feel like every time I say Candy Ryan, you be like, yeah, no. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Okay,
like,
you don't understand about. I don't know if I would recommend like
Candy. Her stuff been picked up. Like her first book gonna be a movie. Like,
I believe you.
Candy Ryan is that.
I'm spooked on that one book. You read.
Okay, a little bit of suspense.
I do believe you, but
little bit. That book was crazy. What was it called? Block Shot? No, that's the second book. Dang, I forgot what the name of that book. That book was intense.
I don't think I would recommend you read Lester, just from what you said.
No, I'm not reading it.
Dang.
My book, I think it'll be fine with my book recommendation, because The Midnight Library is probably the best book I've read in the past couple years. Like, that book is very Matt Haig
or something like that.
Oh,
I just saw he came. I mean, I've seen that book around, and he just came out with a new book that I saw in my email. But
that's like one of the best books I've read in a long time.
But My Year of Rest and Relaxation, I mean, you might like that book. It's less weird than Luster, for sure. I think
it's insane. Also, you told me about. I just listened to Ann Patchett. She was on Wild Card with Rachel Martin. Very good. She's very kooky, very interesting lady.
Yeah, I watch her every Tuesday. Her bookstore. She has a bookstore in Nashville called Parnassus.
She was in Nashville the whole time.
She has a bookstore, and they do this thing called the Lay Down Diaries, where they just talk about. It's like each employee goes through a list of like new releases and stuff like that. I watch it every Tuesday. I don't know why. It's just very interesting to me.
She's a very interesting lady. She's just kind of like.
They just like talk through, all the stuff they got going on. One lady does events, one lady does like children's and middle grade and YA. Like, I just like seeing what they be talking about.
But let's open a bookstore. Add that to the list.
Oh my gosh.
I'm starting to get that feeling where I got too much ideas, so like my chest starts to get tight. It won't stop.
Be feeling like
yes, but
that's why we should have that Q4 meeting agenda should have been a little longer.
But did we have it already?
Yeah, thank God. That Q1 was gonna be crazy though. I'll be trying to save stuff for the meeting.
Cause I'm trying to I got mad moves to make next year. I gotta change my situation.
Like that's the thing. That's the thing. It's really we gotta. That situation, the freaking government. I hope that don't affect.
Oh, I've given up on. I refuse to be hopeless. I've given up. Like, I know this might be delusional, but like I'm not really giving into that whole like. Cause there's been a lot of content lately about like, hey, make sure you got your high yield savings account and make sure you got all your vaccines and bag. Make sure you got 6 weeks of non-perishable food. I have started selecting like not interested. Like I remember my friend texted me like, make sure your passport. I'm like, my passport is current.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. And if it's not fine, then I'll deal with that. But I cannot. It was starting to affect me. Like. It was like a little joke, a little hee hee, like, oh, we're gonna be in camps, da da da. But now that it's like actually a reality, like I can't like give into that. Like, am I preparing for anything?
Yeah, preparing kind of crazy. I'm not, because what we really finna do? That's the thing. It's like, what you really finna do? Like, you kind of just gotta keep living your life.
I'm just gonna keep living my life. Like
I just hope everybody's gonna be okay.
I can't like the whole like no, I can't do it. I'm sure. I think stuff is definitely gonna be like. A mess, but I'm just hoping that like he does his big one and then the states figure it out and hopefully it's not too bad. Like that's what I'm hoping for, because I'm just like at first I was like yeah, and then I'm just like we'll get through it, and if we don't get through it we'll figure it out. Like I don't know, so I'm gonna keep living my life. I got deadlines. I got stuff I'm waiting to hear back from. I got moves to make. I got situations I'm trying to change. I feel like these people upstairs be walking on my brain. Like I got stuff I'm trying to do. Like, like I'm like can't like I'm trying to live my life a certain way. I got goals in 2025, so it's just like
I just hope. Yeah, I mean, I just hope.
If you feel that way, I'm like, feel how you want to feel. Like if you're like it's gonna help you renew your passport and get your birth. She's like, I gotta get your birth certificate. I'm
I haven't
like,
thought about any of that.
It's just like. If that helps you, everyone's doing what they can do during this time. Some of y'all are rejoicing, which I hope y'all go to hell, but like no one listens to this show surely.
That's insane.
Why you listen to us?
This had to be your first episode.
like you ended it right then. No, probably back when we mentioned very early on. But whatever helps you. For me, I dug into my Christianity bag and I'm just like, or this life there's hope, and God hasn't failed me yet, so I'm just gonna keep living my life. I still had to log on the next day. Didn't do much because I was just like, it's crazy, but it is what it is. Like, and also I don't deserve Kamala. I deserved her, but they're gonna retire in January.
I saw something. I think LA Times was put up the polls about a potential governor of California. She has not said anything about her running, but
I wonder if she wants to.
Yeah, I was like,
a setback. Not a setback, but it's like you
kind of, yeah.
Because it's like, what am I stepping up to? I'm just saying, like, you was vice president.
Yeah, but they just put out the polls and stuff. I'm kind of in the middle. I would love to see the people that have the reasons why, like, it might not be so bad. It's really hard to believe. Like what I said, like I just hope that I'm able to see my dreams realized.
Yeah.
Like, like I just hope that whatever happens, it's hard. Obviously, I hope a lot of things before that, because there's a lot of people that's more vulnerable than I am, and also a lot of people are more vulnerable than they think they are.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of y'all a paycheck away from homelessness, and he already talking about putting homeless people in camps. I can't.
That's insane.
Like, because there was like, well, he's putting them in a situation with doctors or whatever. I said, so he's gonna tell law enforcement to round these people up and take them somewhere and say, you live here now. What does that sound like to you? Sounds like internment, but okay. But I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I haven't even thought about get my passport, like I'm not going nowhere. Like I'm just not going anywhere. I can't. Like, I mean, I could, but I don't want to. And it's just not even that. We just gonna have to deal with whatever happens. I just hope that like everything stays normal enough. I can just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
And my plans, I feel like really just rely mostly on me anyway. So it's like it could very well still happen.
Yeah, as long as he don't dismantle the WGA, like I'm kind of just like
as long as we don't get into like a depression or something.
But anyway, I know y'all are begging to start the episode 35 minutes in.
Okay, so the news this week, I have a couple things. Oh, first of all, our live stream for November, our monthly live stream that we do for Patreon, it's coming up next week on the 20th. It's gonna be at 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's a post-episode live stream, so 5 p.m. is a give or take. Just stay tuned on Patreon, and we'll post the link when we're ready. But it'll be like 5 p.m. And yeah, that's available to all of our Patreon members. You can join. Well, you can join for free. You won't get the live stream, but all of our paid members, which starts at $1. So if you just want to show up to the live stream, that's cool. $1 up will get our November live stream. And that link will be in the description. Next up, we got some people to congratulate. Sphinx just announced their semifinalists for their 2025 competition in juniors and in the senior division.
Give it MAGA. Nothing.
So I'm just gonna link that page where they have a page where you can watch everybody to get to know me video and learn more about everyone that's gonna be there, and I'm sure we will be there in Detroit. I know you will. I think I decided I'm going. So if y'all gonna be in Detroit, I don't know what the situation is gonna be. Probably not. It's not the same as last year. We had a table, but
I asked my situation.
Yeah,
something about one of these.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So we gonna see what I was watching.
It's insane.
But also,
I
know
it's kind of
backfire.
Well, prayers up for Katie.
Yes.
And yeah, so I'll be linked in the description.
Any familiar faces for seniors?
My Black Excellence for this week will be in there. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm sick, y'all. Brendan Elliott is in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And seniors, but other than that, nope.
Always give what it normally is. Give him a little bit of MAGA, a little bit of.
It's insane. Okay.
Is it
next to? It's not.
I forgot. I don't have gripes with Sphinx, but I forgot I had beef with a person now at Sphinx, and one day I'm gonna talk about him because y'all should know how some of these leaders are talking to Black women. Not what's this dude in charge? Not him. And what's his name? Stephen. Aaron, not Aaron.
I was about to say because I was gonna say Aaron, but then we started.
No, not Aaron.
No,
it's not
Aaron.
Aaron. It's not him. Aaron is very lovely.
Yeah,
I've only spoken to him a handful of times, but he's very lovely. Not him. But you should know how some of these men are talking to women.
And
one day we'll talk about that.
Not as Sphinx.
And the other situation I have to deal with this year has been a doozy. There's been a year of immense blessings and a lot of things working how I asked them to work out, but it's been a doozy. And both of them were Black men. But one day I'm gonna talk about both of those things. But I forgot about that until I sent that email today, pitching that thing. I was like, I forgot about how you was talking to me and how you thought you could talk to me. Yeah.
Well, next up, the applications are open for the 2025 Emerging Black Composers Project. This is a partnership between SFCM and San Francisco Symphony.
You better put in that little piece you wrote.
Yeah. What is it? Halloween Trio? Yeah. Period.
They gonna be like, so the name. Workshop the name.
It's a competition that's looking to further identify and promote inventive Black composers of any music genre, age 35 or under. We've talked about this in the past couple of years. It's the 5th annual Emerging Black Composers Project, Michael Morgan Prize, RIP, and the Cabrillo Emerging Black Composers Prize. The winners of the Michael Morgan Prize will receive a $15,000 award for a new music commission that is going to receive a world premiere with the San Francisco Symphony during their 2026-27 season. And the winner is also going to receive mentorship from the SFCM music director Edwin Outwater and Daniel Bartholomew Poyser. Shout out to him, former Black Excellence, and who is the resident conductor of engagement and education at San Francisco Symphony and the chair of the EBCP selection committee. The winner will also receive mentorship, including career support and investment from the SFCM faculty and musicians. And yeah, the 2025 recipient award is going to be the 12th commission of this entire project. And its partnerships since it first launched in 2020. So get your stuff together. You have plenty of time. The submission deadline is not until February 1st, 2025, and the winners will be announced this spring 2025. So I'll link the info page. Y'all can see everything, how to apply, all that, hear from some past applicants and all that sort of thing. And yeah. Next up, last week is a freaking blur. I remember looking at this, and I can't remember when I looked at it, but I don't think we talked about it last week. The New York Philharmonic dismissed 2 of their players after their sexual assault accusations. We've been following them too. Matthew Mucky and Liang Wang.
They got released.
Yep, they got released. It says they just confirmed that they've both been dismissed following, quote, credible claims against them of sexual assault and harassment. So to give y'all a bit of background and a bit of timeline on this, both Mucky and Liang were dismissed from their positions back in 2018 when these accusations resurfaced amid the Me Too movement. The orchestra engaged a former federal judge to conduct an independent investigation, which led to that dismissal in 2018. But the 2 players, they took their case to the local 802 of the American Federation of Musicians, their union, to challenge being fired, and the union decided that they were terminated without cause. And so then they were reinstated in 2020. And I remember us talking about, like, you know, what, I don't know, like, what's the recourse for this? Because people was like, they should be fired, all this type of stuff. And it's like, yeah, but they were fired, but they was reinstated. So it's like, do we just keep doing this? Fire, reinstated. But what we do know from the last time we talked about it was that the union is under different leadership. And I wonder if that might affect the union's desire and willingness to back these musicians up. The accusations were originally brought up by a horn player in the orchestra, Kara Kaiser, at the time, back in July of 2010, where she claims that she was drugged by them and sexually assaulted. So it was back then, didn't come up to 2018, and then now it's all resurfacing again, especially after a article in New York Magazine, in Vulture, I think, which is owned by New York Magazine, was written by this investigative journalist, Sammy Sussman, which, shout out to Sammy, because he really be on the ground. I've seen a couple of things he done, like, he's really been covering a lot of, like, stuff that I don't see nobody else really covering like that. And at least not in the way that he's doing it. Like, I was like, investigative journalist in classical music, what should we be doing? But he really be investigating. After that article came out, though, Liang Wang sued Vox Media, which publishes New York Magazine, and he sued Sammy Sussman for defamation.
Defamation is something you did?
Like,
just don't drug people. How about that? You freaking lunatic.
So they also, both of them, filed lawsuits against the New York Philharmonic in the federal district court in Manhattan. So the New York Philharmonic this month issued a notice of non-reengagement to both players, which will be effective from September 21st, 2025. So Deborah Borda, who's the interim leader at the New York Philharmonic, because we also talked about their CEO skedaddled.
Recent, like last week?
Like last month.
Or we talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Deborah Borda, who was in retirement, I mean, she was in New York, and then she went to LA, and then she went back to New York, and then she retired, and then that dude came in, now she back. They can't let her go. She said, quote, "We have done the right thing. We have followed the letter of the law. The facts strongly support our case." All of this came about after they had an independent investigation from, I'm saying this right, Levy Employment Law. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, after that independent investigation, they said that, like, yeah, y'all can't have them in here no more.
But they get to stay through the season?
Yeah,
and into next season?
No, I don't know what the rules are. People, I wonder if that has something to do with the legal. They sue y'all anyway, so I don't know. That has anything to do with their tenure or what? Yeah, it seems like, yeah, it's just like they not being re-engaged. They not really fired, but they not renewing their contract, basically.
That's so awkward. So like, you just gonna go to work, everybody know you don't got a job no more.
Yeah. I mean, they obviously have no shame because y'all was dismissed in 2018 and came back in 2020. Like, you know that one meme? It's the I don't know what that reality show, but it's all the Little Women, and there's two, and they walk in, they're like, "Hey."
Yeah.
I feel like that's that first rehearsal back.
Like, and then after this dropped last week, them two sitting there like, what the hell we gonna do now?
Like,
y'all lucky not going to prison. You freaking predators. Like
y'all really should be kind of y'all lucky.
Like, you should.
Like,
then like, also, where you finna work now? You could probably work anywhere. You lucky you're not going to prison.
Like,
because if you work for somewhere they don't really know what's going on, which, like, how big of a story? I mean, this is a huge show in classical music, so can't really work nowhere.
Yeah, and imagine. But then I'm also wondering, like, who y'all having private students, like, who would even know about the, like, you know, parents and stuff. It says that there was the independent investigation found new reports of misconduct made by the orchestra's musicians in addition to those outside of the ensemble, and that the Philharmonic has declined to release the report, but a 9-member dismissal review committee of the orchestra convened to discuss the findings, and they said that a majority of members of the orchestra did not want either of them to return.
They hate you.
They hate y'all real bad. The committee made a unanimous recommendation to the union's executive board, and then the Local 802's executive board said in a 9-page decision that every member of the orchestra's dismissal review committee, quote, expressed revulsion at the abuse of power and pattern of behavior. So yeah, it was pretty much unanimous. They said, like, y'all need to get
them out of here. They lucky because it should have been immediately. Like, you have a year or less than a year, but whatever, to get your affairs in order.
But also, I wonder if they also said, I wonder if that whole, like, they're, what does it say, not being re-engaged after that date. I wonder if they're still, like, gonna be performing or not, even though they're technically employed, because it says Deborah Borda said the investigation, quote, the investigation found that both gentlemen had been involved in sexual abuse and rape as well as an abuse of power. This is all new information that came out, and I think the reason is that people were afraid to speak up before, and they are not now. They are barred from the building. They will never appear on the stage again with the Philharmonic. So
finally, classical music does something right.
Like,
you wretched human beings. Okay, so it's just like they're not performing again. It's just legalese.
Yeah, like, that's what it seems like. And then the oboist Wong, his lawyer gave a statement and said, both of their lawyers gave a statement, but his lawyer said that the Philharmonic is throwing out numbers of allegations to mask that these are minor issues from very long ago, generally have nothing to do with the Philharmonic and would not constitute sexual misconduct, even if all true, which they aren't.
Get a new lawyer.
And then the other guy,
this is a little rape, not a big one. Like what?
Mucky's lawyer said there's simply no basis for this, and we intend to pursue whatever remedies we can. Matt has committed no wrongful acts. So they're both continuing with their legal challenges, and apparently more people have come out, against them with allegations. So that makes sense with the whole unanimous. Everybody don't want y'all here.
Everybody said they don't want you here.
Like, so because I'm just like, it must be awkward. And then everybody, you just gotta sit with people like that on stage, and the audience gotta sit with y'all. Like,
good for New York Phil.
Yeah. So, last but not least, ending on a good note, I'm putting more thought into this, because I remember one time we ended on something crazy. I don't remember what it was, but the Grammy nominations are out. Pew, 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 pew. So congratulations to everybody that has been nominated for a Grammy. Yeah, I will link the list of all of the classical Grammy nominations. But yeah, we don't need to go through all of them because there's a lot. But yeah, congrats to everybody that's nominated, and we'll be looking out for who wins. Oh, did you see that Andre 3000's Flute album was nominated for Album of the Year?
Was it?
It was. Thoughts?
Did Beyonce get nominated for Album of the Year?
She did.
Okay, those are my thoughts.
But we're gonna see, because even if she wins it this time, people are gonna be like, well, it's just because Jay-Z said whatever. And I'm just like, Beyonce should have at the very bare minimum at least 3 of those on her shelf. At the very least, she should have for self-titled Lemonade and Renaissance. Bare minimum.
Who else got on Album of the Year?
Billie Eilish.
Oh, that
Charlie XCX. Maybe Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Maybe Chaperone. Of course, Taylor Swift. Andre 3000. I don't know who else. I can't remember who else.
The girls are really bumping that Flute album.
Are they?
The girls were into the Flute album,
but like consistently.
I don't know,
because that's what I wanted to know. Because like I know people was excited about it, and oh my gosh, Andre 3000, all that whatever. But I was like, I wonder how many people, how long this is gonna last, and also how many people use it as a gateway to start listening to more ambient music and stuff like that. Album of the Year surprised me. It surprised him too. He said it surprised me because I ain't heard a peep about the album since it came out. But that don't mean, hey, there's a lot of stuff. The Hot 100, the top 10 is always a freaking mystery to me. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, I think I wrote a review on it. Of course, that's what I wanted to say. Most of it got edited, but I just wasn't really. But I remember listening to the Friend Zone, and Asante was like, he be putting it on when he's just doing stuff around the house. I'm just like, that's interesting to me. Just didn't really. But hey.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the news this week.
Period. So we're gonna play a game this week. So I was thinking about this game my mom used to play. I have to call her and tell her that I thought about this. And what was I saying? But it's basically just categories. I really think Ina was just trying to get me to get some. What's the word? We were practicing literacy. It's really what it was. Wow. But
what a hero.
But yeah, she would like give me a letter, and I had to write. She would give me like a type of noun. I had to write as many words that started with that letter or something like that. Well, we're gonna play categories. So let's see.
I forgot about categories.
I was looking at. I was like, what am I gonna do for intermission today? And I looked at my bookshelf, and the Lord sent it to me because I own categories. Okay, pick a composer.
Schubert.
Okay, and pick a number. 1 through 10.
1 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
7.
Okay, so the letters R. Okay, and there will be Let's do a minute. That's a long time. We'll do 45 seconds. You need to write down as many classical music related things that start with R. Okay, ready, set, go.
Okay, whoa. That's
because
crazy.
I didn't want you to start thinking. Okay, fine. Ready, set, go.
Okay. I'll wait until after to tell you. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're both doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Wait, hold on. Dang, well, you're writing so much. Where you get that from? Oh, gosh.
Oh, shoot. Oh, no, I'm losing steam.
Yeah.
Oh,
same.
No. Time.
Oh, dang.
Okay. I'm going to take one out because I don't feel like arguing.
What is it? Like, what is it?
Reiner. But I couldn't remember, like, if that was a composer or a place or whatever, so.
Oh, I forgot about composers.
Okay, how many do you have? I have 6.
Oh, girl, I have 4.
Okay. Which ones do you have?
I have Rosin.
Oh, that's a good one.
Reed.
That's a good one. Okay.
Retardando.
Okay, yeah.
And Recorder.
I have Rondo. Retard. Renaissance. Rag. Like. Right, because like right hand. And. See, why everything gotta be a thing?
Oh, please.
So, okay. So what? You hold the bow in your bow hand? In hand, too?
What hand if you have a right hand, yeah. I guess. Fine.
And rest.
Oh, yeah, duh. Rest.
That was fun. See? Lighthearted.
I like games. I just don't like when, like, that one you have talking about sing something in the style of, that was insane.
What a great game. I have to go back and find whatever episode that was.
No. But I like games. Regular games.
Yes, categories. We will do another one, but the hour is 9. We spent 30 minutes on opening, so. Ready for the topic? We can play again in a couple weeks.
Okay. All right, so the topic this week, I was browsing the internet, and I came across an obituary for one R. Peter Munvis, I hope I'm saying his name right, who was a record company executive who apparently revolutionized the marketing of classical music. And it's really got me thinking about it, you know, just this topic in general, because apparently what was so interesting about his career was that he decided to start marketing classical music similar to the way that they do pop music, and apparently brought classical music to a much wider audience. He made record labels a lot of money with the way he started marketing classical music, and this was like in the 1960s. He was the one that started doing those like classical greatest hits albums and things like that, which made a lot of money for record companies because they could take recordings that were already made and put them in these like compilations and stuff like that. And apparently that attracted a lot of people to classical music. He also invited, I know he had one like electronic musician record pieces by Bach on Moog synthesizer. I always, because it looks like Moog, but it's not. It's Moog. I always get that word wrong. On Moog synthesizer, and apparently that was very successful. But I wanted to talk in general about marketing in classical music, because I just thought it was a very interesting concept, especially because I felt like when I was reading his obituary, it reminded me a lot of like Classic Black, in that like how creative he was with like taking classical music from where it was and expanding it. Like, we really be freaking classical music any which way. Like
oh, we turned her out for sure. Just a shell of herself. She's young, lit, and turned now over here.
Not a shell of her former self.
I mean, 302 episodes of Classically Black.
Like,
it's at a certain point, we talked about all the symphonies. Like
it's just, it's very interesting. Got me thinking about it. So I want to talk about let's like our view about marketing classical music, starting with just baseline our consumer habits in classical music, how much classical music we consume, how we engage with it, and all that type of stuff. We've talked about it a little bit, but we have new listeners.
How much do I engage with classical music? I listened to classical music the other day and I was like, oh, I forgot. Like, because like one of my controversial things is I don't listen to a lot of classical music because just like when I was like doing all the extra preparation, like if I'm practicing 4 hours a day, like I just want silence. And that was a little different now. I've pivoted, but I just don't put music on in general. Like I'm not really like I listen to music like constantly anyway. I listen to music in the car. I'm not grabbing a symphony when I'm driving in the car. So that's kind of like it sounds like an excuse, but like this is my life. Like I just don't like I'm not usually at home like let me put some music on. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know, but I think like as a consumer of classical music, like I'll go to a concert. That's one thing I do. I just felt an itch. I felt LA feel kind of high. I was like, what y'all got going on? And they might get me because I might go to that Home Alone concert. I'm gonna see because the ticket's kind of high, but I'm already doing the thing that I've criticized by going to one of these concerts where the movie's playing.
I was just about to say,
like I'm on record saying that several times on this very program.
That's funny because remember when we was talking about Marcus Garvey the other day, and I was like, and y'all love Marcus Garvey. His name was on her shirt.
I was laughing about that days later because I'm like, I normally like that's one of the easiest things, especially like older sitcoms. They love doing like say something that directly contradicts the thing that directly contradicts happens like right after. Yeah. Then Annie uses that device every episode multiple times. She'll say something directly contradicts. And I was like, that was the first time I experienced it in real life. I've never experienced that before. And I was like, that's crazy because I was literally like, my uncles aren't, because my uncles are very intelligent. I think they're intelligent people. But I was like, my uncles are dumb in that they support Marcus Garvey. But I have this shirt that's like dream like Obama, lead like Marcus. And it's like, I literally went, oh.
And then I said, we could continue this conversation. We got a different shirt on.
And I literally was like, well, Marcus was brilliant. So never mind. But I have complicated thoughts on Marcus Garvey. I get I understand. It was an execution and like that was ridiculous. I thought I was laughing about that for days after. I'm like, that I didn't even realize like he on my shirt like period. Big Marcus. But yeah, I know I'm on this very I'm trying to get in the Christmas spirit because I think it's harder as an adult. I think it's harder, like literally that time of year is so busy. I pray it's busy this year, but it's not looking like it, which is a blessing and a curse because like I make so much money in December, but also I'm new to LA, so like I'll make less because I haven't made it a lot of contacts yet. But it's just such a busy time. It's like go, and then I hop on a flight. So now it's December 23rd. Christmas is over. Like, and it's such a hard time as an adult to get to the spirit. So that's why I was like, if I go to this Home Alone concert, it would be one of the things. And they're doing this not Vanessa Hudson. Why did I say that? Jennifer Hudson concert they're doing. I'm trying to pick which one. So I'm like so I will go to a concert. That's how I patronize classical music, especially like since I'm not the orchestra, because I would never pay to go to Memphis Symphony concert. Like if I couldn't get a comp, I'm not finna pay for the stage I'm finna be on next week. That's not good, but that's what it was. So that's how I'll bounce out by saying I will go to a concert. I do enjoy a little night out with a little dinner reservation after. That's my speed. Mm-hmm. Well, typically it's like Yelp or like Open Table.
No, but
well, last week I went to The Butcher's Daughter. Very lovely. Well, like
exactly.
Yeah, there was a waitress and she helped me. She recommended this drink. I went for a watermelon drink. I know I don't like watermelon, but yeah.
Oh, you sharing it with somebody?
Oh, with the restaurant? Yeah, I'm gonna buy out the restaurant.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it would be ridiculous. It was a Thursday evening,
Period.
Friday evening.
Oh, okay. Your man got you out late. I know that's right. Anyway.
Well, I had to do my situation before, so that's all the time was left.
Okay. Swept you off your feet. I went what y'all have.
Well, yeah, I wasn't walking. I drove my car.
Anyway, just
Dalanie just be saying
know.
this riffing. You could just talk about what I just talked about, but from your point of view. Like, it's your turn.
Well, I just, we got a different point of view. Because,
we're two different people.
But you got a different situation. I got so.
Yeah, we don't work in the same situation. Everybody knows that.
Romantically, you got a different situation going on. So, I wish you all the best in your endeavors.
Dalanie just talking
Anyway, so what was the question?
Well, I don't know. You tell me. It's somewhere in there.
I listen to classical music a lot less than I used to. Now I don't even think I listen to classical music every week. I used to listen to classical music every day. In some capacity, like obviously when I was like immersed in it, I don't know if I listen to music in general, maybe not every day, but I would say most days. Listening to music is usually an activity. Like I don't usually have music in the background while I'm doing things.
That's what I'm doing. But I'm like getting my little steps in. But I might start with music, but I'm often doing like audiobook or podcast. Like I rarely listen to music when I.
Cause sometimes if I get into music, like, I'm gonna want to pull up a score or something like that, like just because, like, it just makes you feel because you just be seeing it. What y'all doing, So I feel like I hadn't thought much about in terms of my consumer habits. I don't really go to a lot of concerts. I thought about it, but then I was looking at them Camerata Pacifica tickets, and I was like, mad high. Camerata Pacifica is like a chamber music collective out here.
I don't like chamber music enough for that.
I don't either for them prices. I'll tell you that much. In LA Field they be doing they stuff, so I might go see what they got going on chamber music wise. But Camerata Pacifica is high, like it's too much.
I mean, worst goes to worst, you go to Colburn. I'm not going to no study.
I mean, Colburn kind of different though.
It's a little different, but
what's I gonna say? I think. I mean, I don't be leaving the house so much, so I'm not really finna go to a concert like that. Although I do probably need to a little bit. And I've thought about it. It really just depends on what's going on. But I feel like I haven't really thought about like how I consume like recorded music. The most I would say I've thought about it was like earlier this year. I did a video. Was that this year? No, couldn't have been. Sometime in the past, I did a video on Apple Music Classical, like trying it out for a while, and like that was like the closest. Like I was really trying to discover new music on the app and see like what was going on. But yeah, so I feel like neither of us really be on classical music that
even
much. When
I was like, one of my hot takes, even when we started the show, we were at Eastman. I'm just not a huge like when I'm not doing I've did a lot of work of separating myself from VO in a very healthy way. I don't want it to be like my everything. So I started with like, if I don't know, I wasn't even listening to classical music if I wasn't like in my leisure time, which may or may not have been a good thing. But I was very like, cause Eastman, I had to make some very, what's the word I'm looking for? Resolute decisions to keep my mental health in check when I was there. So yeah.
Well, I want to talk about like how do we view the way that classical music is marketed today? Like, do we feel like we are the target audience? Do we feel like it is like the marketing of classical music? Like people have attempted to appeal to us as audience members, why or why not?
I feel like I have two answers for this. One, the main one is I feel like I'm not qualified to answer because you're marketed, like your algorithm knows what you. And I feel like my algorithm is like, is she a classical musician? Let's just try this thing. So it's like I don't get ads for LA Phil and all the other type of stuff because like I just don't interact with classical music content. So, so I don't even know what classical music marketing looks like. I know them dry ass videos they be doing, like not the LA Phil specifically, but just like in general, like that doesn't make me want to go to a concert. I want to go to a concert because I want to hear a piece. Are they doing the Emperor? Are they on my eyes on my seat? They doing Emperor? Ooh, I can't wait. Like that, I know the piece. Like I know the LA Phil's gonna be good, so I don't need to be marketed to. So I just don't pay attention to any marketing that's going on, if any is going on.
I feel like I follow a good amount of like classical music accounts. Not a ton. Like I follow Classic FM, follow LA Phil, couple schools.
I'll follow no Classic Black follows in. Never mind.
LA Phil.
Minnesota.
Oh, right. I follow them on my personal account too. I think those are the only two orchestras I follow. Maybe.
Oh, I follow Memphis Symphony.
Oh yeah.
What they be marketing? Let's see.
And I think, but also I'm thinking of like, cause he was very much this guy was very much in the like he worked for record labels, and for that, like, I mean, I only in terms of like music that I've bought, I mean, I bought like a couple of classical music records because either like I liked the piece, like I don't know what I bought. It was a Tchaikovsky record. I don't know if it was the Nutcracker or something like that. Just to have. And then obviously I bought that record up there, the Leontine Price and William Warfield, just because Leontine Price and William Warfield were on it. That's really the only reason why I bought it. But in terms of like, when I see classical music being marketed, especially like to buy like an album or something like that, I don't really feel like they're necessarily trying to like reach out to people like me. Honestly, I feel like the most targeted, the way I see classical music targeted most at like me or people like me is like somebody like Babatunde. Sometimes when they work, like he did work with the Chevalier movie. He just did a thing with Seattle Opera when he went to Seattle, whatever. I was wondering if he was there for something, and then he did like a joint post with them doing stuff in Seattle, and he went to see one of their operas or whatever. So I think that was a good move on their part, and frankly us, although we don't really market for anything besides like our stuff, but you know, like I do think that we would appeal to a different audience than what a lot of people market to.
I think classical music relies on, like, classical music and gospel music are very similar to me in that like they know their fan base will find them, so they kind of just rely on that. Like Kurt Franklin always gonna have a fan, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, LA Phil always gonna have fans. So I feel like they just don't try to, I think now that it's getting like, you know, tickets might not be selling as much, they're like, okay, how can we tap into a younger audience? How can we this and that? But also what's very a little bit disingenuous is that they also know, they as in classical music as a whole, know who they don't want there. Like they still like don't want certain groups of people in their concert hall. Because you could really like, I was looking at when I went to Artina's concert, she did like Solange curated a concert and Artina played on night 3 excuse me, and I looked at the crowd and it was just like so black, and it's just like, I love how like unafraid the LA Phil is, because it's like you have all these people in here and it's like they I think classical music underestimates the power of like people being like, I might come back to something here, like it might not be this, but I could go see it. Like, what else y'all got going on? Black people love a good, what else y'all got going on? Like, but I just think that this relies so much on like our people will find us, you know, especially big orchestras. Like you really ain't gotta do much. Like, I mean, I don't see those numbers. They're probably like, we gotta do so much, but like, yeah, I'm not working like how little orchestras are working, trying to get they people in their seats.
I was gonna say that's also similar to when I saw Fire Shut Up in My Bones at the Met. Like lots and lots of black people with their letters on, like many, like the crowd was. So I've never been to the Met. That's the only time I've ever been to the Met. But I'm like, I know the crowd don't be looking like this on a regular day. Definitely not. So I felt like that was, and also that was another thing. Like even when me and you would see Black Panther, like I'd never seen a Marvel movie before Black Panther. But it was Black Panther, so I went to see it. You know, like
that's
and
the thing.
Then y'all got me back, and we went and saw the Endgame or Infinity War.
Girl, I don't know.
But I forget which one, but one of those.
Wait, that's the same thing? Infinity War, the Endgame Infinity War? That's not one title?
I don't know. I don't think so, though.
Oh. That's the one with Thanos snap?
When one of those is, I don't know.
Oh, it's a two-parter.
I mean, it's just like Marvel movies. I don't know if they're parts of whatever, but it's all like in the, you know, the universe of Marvel.
Somebody's screaming right now.
I'm sure.
That's my favorite example because literally, like, I never saw a Marvel movie. I saw the Black Panther was gonna be coming out, and so I went to go see that. Then we saw it again
because we was in there Googling people the whole time.
Like that. I also watched other Marvel movies. I was like, oh,
yeah. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I watched that. I even watched Aquaman. I didn't even know people didn't like Aquaman. I was just like, I'll click on it. Why?
Well, yeah, I watched one of the Thor movies. I watched only the movies where he had his hair long, though. But yeah,
he what?
Where he had his hair long. Looks better that way.
He cut his hair?
Chris Hemsworth? I mean, he normally wears it.
Who's the fine one? The big one that was dating?
Thor?
No. Aquaman.
Oh, God, I don't know who plays Aquaman.
You do know him. He was dating Lisa Bonet.
Jason Momoa.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Yeah, my time for carrying on.
He's Aquaman?
I believe so. He was Aquaman. So, okay, so to be fair, did I click on it because of that? Maybe. But, like,
I do remember him being some type of
he was definitely Aquaman. Let me double check, though. I didn't even know people didn't
That's Marvel?
It's not?
I don't know. I just did because I think maybe because when we saw the one, whichever is the one that came right after Black Panther, because whatever the one, I remember we was I remember that's the one where we were Googling people because we were like, when are we going to Wakanda? Because we was watching the whole thing. We was like, okay, when is Wakanda coming over, whatever. And because that one had so many of the heroes in it, maybe because I didn't see him or maybe he wasn't and we just don't remember. But maybe that's why I was like, he's Marvel because he was. I don't think he was in.
Is DC Marvel? DC Marvel Comics? That's two different things.
He's DC.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's not Marvel. Because people be fighting about that. That's one of the nerd polarizing things. DC versus Marvel. Because Superman is DC.
Oh, literally the very little
and Batman, I think.
Oh, Marvel. And I thought it was. Isn't it like Marvel?
I'm gonna say Marvel.
I think Crystal was saying Marvel for years just to piss off Kid Fury, and it turned out to be actually Marvel. But I mean, I still say Marvel.
Yeah,
but
I remember some people. I think it was Peyton who was like, "Oh my God, it's the first movie you saw," and I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm not going back because it's so many. It's like a universe. So it's
a universe.
Oh, you gotta whatever. I'm like, they do very well at like. Of course, there are probably some things that like, oh, if you haven't seen everything, you might miss, but you're not gonna be confused.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Except for when we was watching.
We went in blind. We were like, let's go watch this movie in Spanish. And it was like
the only person we recognized was Spider-Man because he was shooting webs.
Like
you know what Spider-Man looks like, but like
we saw that one twice too because we had to go back
because we was Googling people the whole time with our brightness all the way down on the screen trying to figure because we didn't know who these people are and what they doing and why they feel this way about something. Oh, Captain America, I guess we know who that is.
Oh, what's that lady with the red hair? She was in that Black Widow.
I don't think she has red hair. I think red hair is the lady who was in the WandaVision.
Oh, WandaVision. That's not Black Willow.
Useless dual vision. And then I remember somebody got mad.
That's what I remember.
Well, no, because Vision is it. I'm like, but why was he getting flipped around like a pancake the whole time? He didn't do nothing.
That was crazy.
He didn't do nothing.
Like
you talking about the lore? I'm talking about this movie right here.
Nah, because they got mad because we were talking about it like just. I remember that. I don't remember who we were talking to.
It was Austin.
Was it Austin?
Yeah, I think it was Austin. Yeah.
That was funny because Austin's such a nerd and we were making him mad. And excuse me, this is not nice, but I enjoy making nerds a little.
I felt a little bad because I know like you really interested. Like I'm in the middle because also sometimes y'all be taking it a little too far, like with the anime thing, or they be like, oh,
just like
this person.
Just like we're just having fun, not like I don't enjoy making nerds mad. I like seeing people passionate about stuff. People. Like, huh?
Like messing with them. Like,
a little bit. Because, like, he was...
They be so mad.
That conversation is coming back to me because he was so mad at us. Not like, I hate you, but because also he couldn't say that he was faculty. But we were like, basically describing this movie in layman's terms, but also don't have the credibility to describe anything in anyone's terms. And we're like, yeah, he was so freaking useless. He was like... I remember that he was.
I mean, he was used to it. The second they came in there, he was getting flipped around like a pancake, like a rag doll. They was throwing him around. He didn't do nothing. They took that thing out his head. Oh, I think that was a different movie. Whichever one, he was getting smacked around. He didn't do nothing. If he had any powers, I didn't see him. So,
the thing in his head.
Yeah, that was when he was collecting all the stones. Whichever one, I can't remember. Whichever was the one with the snap had to come first, because the snap, they had to bring people back from the snap. So one of them, I can't remember which one.
Remember way more than I do. I thought he was talking about JT Man.
One of the when we saw the movie, who? JT Man?
Yeah, what's her man's name?
JT Man? Oh, Lil Uzi Vert.
I was like, Lil Uzi Vert?
I thought you was talking about whatever. I mean,
no,
that might be.
He said the thing in his head. I said, whoa.
Because I just remember, because it was. I'm glad that it's not like gory, scary, but I just remember because he killed him like that. Like, it's, and everybody else got dissolved away, but he literally, like, in the guy, he like turned gray and died. I was like, whoa. And it was in front of his girl, and she was crying. I'm like, this is kind of depressing. Like, what y'all got going on? That was when he was connected. That was the last like stone he needed before he killed everybody. He didn't kill nobody. But like, you know what I mean? I just can't remember which one came first. I feel like that might have been Endgame, just because, like, would that not be the end when he snapped everybody? I feel like that title would make sense for that to have been Endgame.
Have I seen Wakanda Forever too? Have you seen Wakanda Forever?
Oh, I did see that.
I don't think I've seen that.
You ain't missing nothing.
Really?
It's just hard, you know?
Because he's not in there, or he is in there.
I mean, he's in there briefly, but like it's
God.
just hard. Like, it just was never gonna be the same, you know, without him. And it really, I just feel like it needed him. And also there was just some stuff like with the dudes under the water, the new people, the way they was throwing around the Wakandas. I'm like, so last time I don't like stuff like that. Last time the Wakandas was the most strong, everything, and now all of a sudden they ragdolls. I feel like there's no, like, it's just too, I don't want to say inconsistent, but like, it just don't make sense for them to have been so much stronger than everybody else. And then these two people, I mean, I guess the other people can be so much stronger than them, but it's just like, dang, they can't even put up a fight. Like, they don't stand a chance.
Oh, they lost in the end?
Oh, I don't remember how it ended.
I didn't watch that. I still didn't watch Woman King, but Woman King was a little scary as well.
I don't know what that.
Yeah, what's her name? Gina?
No, I know what it is. I just mean I don't know what it's about.
Oh, I have no idea. Some woman tribe
thing. And she the king.
And I love Basketball Lady edited it.
Yeah.
Y'all see what I'm talking about? From my mouth to God's ears. I'm telling you. I know y'all heard that.
Yeah. But
anyway.
My last thing is, how do you think classical music can market to wider audiences? Because I feel like when I was reading what he did and how it seemed to, like, what everything we just talked about, I feel like it's like you're pulling in people at the margins, but it really seemed like what he did really opened it up in a way that, like, I wonder what classical music would need to do at this point to significantly open the audience to even just listening. They're not even just going to concerts, but just listening to classical music.
I don't really know, actually. Like, to listen to classical, because when I heard Asante on the Friend Zone say, like, he really loved it, because I was very curious, especially like the Friend Zone is such a balanced podcast because it's just so unhinged in the best possible way. Like, Fran is like very woo woo and like you know, vibes and chakras, very brilliant. Everyone's brilliant there. And then Asante is kind of like just very cute, very like into tech, and then Dustin is just off the walls comedian, very unserious man, very, very unserious man. So when both of them actually said that they liked, Asante and Dustin said they liked Andre 3000's album, I was like, I remember like it taking something off of my brain. I'm like, there's something there for classical music, because if they just had, I mean, I know it's ambient music, it's not whatever, but like the fact that they just cut it on and they just like, yeah, it's just in the background. It's like, what's stopping you from doing that with a symphony? Like they're one is on its way to the other one, in my opinion. And I feel like maybe with classical music, like if there was like a a beginner's guide to how to listen to it, maybe. Oh, is that what it is?
And I don't know.
I have that book. They sent it to us, and I just have it. Probably didn't take these roaches down. Yeah.
What does it say? A low-key guide to the high-strung world of classical music. I haven't read this book.
We got that. That's something that came to us in PR, right?
Yeah. But it sounds. I don't know if it's about listening to classical music, but it's something. It's a guide. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Yeah. I'll get around to it.
Yeah, but maybe something like that. Because I remember like when I didn't grow up listening to classical music by any stretch of the imagination. Every once in a while, my mom would turn some jazz on. That's as far as it went. So I remember like one day I got my little stereo system and I was like, let me turn something on. And I didn't like know how to listen to it. Like I just like was laying in my room and I put just the classical music radio on. But it's like, and that's fine because like you have like a next, you know. But it's like you don't know even where to start because you turn on classical music and Bach comes out. You turn on them, you know, that pantaloon music. Like you might turn it back off. You know, I like Bach. I enjoy it, but you start hearing a harpsichord, you living on 95th and Racine, like you might turn that right back off. So it's like, that might be a start. That's the only thing I can offer right now. I really don't know because I don't even know. I mean, people didn't like Lizzo, so that might have been it. But I don't know if people, even at her height, I don't think Lizzo made people turn on flute music. I just think it was cool to see her with a flute, you know. So I don't know how she's doing. I saw her recently.
Oh, yeah. I think... Dang, what was I about to say? Let's not start this shit again. that forgetting stuff. What'd you say about classical music? About how we think it should be. I mean, how we think it could appeal to other people. Oh, I was gonna say I don't really know. I found that like I just don't really know like how people who are not classical musicians listen to classical music. Like I don't know if I would listen to classical music if I was not a musician. I don't think I would really, because it's so, how I listen and how I hear classical music is so tied to my ear as a musician that like it is not to say that you can't enjoy it if you don't. If you're not a musician, you can, but it's just such in a different way. Like when my auntie was like, sometimes I turn it on to relax. I said, relax. You cannot relax. Like listen to classical music to relax.
Yeah, I mean, because I'll be more often than not because I forgot that I was supposed to listen to Sibelius one a couple days ago. It literally slipped my mind. It's crazy. But like I want to feel something. Like I love that piece. I want to feel something because I played it. I know how it goes. Like you know, I know what to expect.
Yeah, like it's just so like so. I don't even know. Like I think it's really it's. I mean that speaks to I guess his talent for appealing to other people, to people outside of classical music, because he said his background was as a record salesman. So he had a sales background and he was working for the label, and like it was more about it was about how he packaged it. It wasn't about the music. And I think I think that's kind of the difference. Like I feel like we don't have a lot of people in the classical music like field that think about how to package it. And I think that's a kind of, I don't want to call it a pitfall, but like it's just a characteristic of the classical music industry. So many people pride themselves on that knowledge and that, like you said, like they just gonna find us anyway, and it just seems like sort of an in crowd sort of thing that sometimes it feels like people think that they're above that. Like like classical music is above that because it's the art, it's a high art, it doesn't need all that other stuff. It's like it doesn't need it, but no genre, like every genre has it. Even genres that are far more popular than classical music have marketing. There's a certain way that you market country music, that you market hip hop, that you market pop music. Like every genre has it, and I'm wondering like what does that look like for classical music?
All I'm gonna say, we're gonna talk about her, the queen herself. Now, you know this is genuine because I can't say what I want to say because it's a little rude. But and I'm trying to keep my situation, but I don't normally stand. Let me not say that. But anyway, my queen Martha Stewart. Listen, she will come up in a couple weeks. But one of the best things, like if you haven't seen her documentary, you have to watch it. It is just so inspiring. She's a mess a little bit in the best way. But one of the things that I think that is realized classical music might be able to learn is that Martha Stewart basically was like basically the first influencer. She was a billionaire, like first self-made billionaire, all this type of stuff. She did all this like high profile like catering and snobby stuff. That's why she got caught up, because she was living this high life. And when she came out of prison and stuff like that, like she lost all this money, her stocks went down, all this stuff like that. She was no longer in control of her company because she couldn't, because she was a felon, all this stuff. And the reason why she rose back to popularity is that she went to the Justin Bieber roast and started like hit it off with Snoop Dogg and kind of entered back into rather say like popular media, like because everyone was like, oh, Martha Stewart, this homemaker, da da da, and then she went to prison and was like, oh, Martha Stewart, the felon, and she kind of had to work her way back in. And I think classical music wants to be so highbrow, it wants to be so whatever, and I'm not saying like, you know what I'm saying, go orchestrate, you know, a peace war between gangs on, you know, in Compton. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like that kind of approach, like you're not too good to do stuff. Like she went to Justin Bieber roast. Everyone was like, why is Martha Stewart at the freaking Justin Bieber roast? And she did her thing. It was funny in her little rich white woman way, and it changed her life. It really opened her up to all this other stuff. And it's like, I think also classical music should be honest. Do you want to attract a new audience? Do you want to attract the audience that might forget to turn their phone off? Do you want to attract an audience that is blacker than it currently is? Because I feel like, especially like when I was living in Memphis, I'm like, the answer is very clear to me. The solution rather is very clear to me. Y'all gotta be honest if that's the solution you want, because in a city that's black, the audience should be overwhelmingly black. If y'all, but yeah, I think you have to be honest about what audience you want, and you undoing a couple of buttons is not gonna make the music worse. You're not, and also I like to remind people that like, while all this stuff that's popular in the canon, oh, Shakespeare, to be or not to be, everybody in the audience was drunk and pissing on the floor and freaking sharing freaking beer that's warm and all that type of weird stuff, and it's stank in there. All the people at Mozart was drunk off his ass, probably doing cocaine and some more stuff that we haven't even discovered yet. That's why we can't even find him. Where his body at? We don't even know that he partied so much. We don't even know he had squandered off his stuff. They were booing from the audience. They was talking. They was eating freaking fried corn or whatever they was eating in the Renaissance period. Like, not Mozart. Obviously, no, Mozart's not Renaissance. But like, the music is gorgeous and beautiful and it's treated well, and very talented people play it well, and all stuff I feel like I should have to say because I've also played this music and studied this music. But it doesn't have to be this like, it's okay if we do something different, because you have to understand where that music came from. It was crazy in there. They didn't start sitting down properly till like Mahler. Like in 1910, 1920, they started sitting down like, okay, you have to have, like, they finally got some McDonald's rules in like 1920, like no shoes, no shirt, no service. That's like around there. Before that, everything was just everything. They was selling popcorn and people was fighting in the aisles. If they didn't like your movement, they would boo. Like, what? Be serious. Like, know where you came from.
Yeah, I would like to see, you know, a little, not like necessarily like spiciness at concerts, but like, I don't know, like just a little bit of creativity in the landscape around classical music. I mean, when I saw Babatunde do that thing with Seattle Opera, I was like, okay, that gives me kind of hope, because we talked about that I think last week, like what organizations do and don't do around like influencer marketing and like all that type of stuff. That's something that orchestras haven't done a ton of, even like with like pretty big influencers. I mean, we talked about Tousse Violin. They did their own tours and stuff.
They already
like
got the zeitgeist. That's crazy.
And I mean, to be fair, I don't really follow them, so I can't really say what all they have and haven't done. But I feel like I hadn't seen them, you know, do a whole lot of like partnerships and collabs and stuff within classical music as much as I would have seen, or even somebody like Drew. who has certainly had his brand deals and stuff like that, but in the way that we've talked about, you know, with orchestras and stuff like that, it seems like maybe not in that way. So we'll see. I wonder, I mean, this is also a conversation we had with our, you know, maybe a new season of Put Me On, like when we're talking to people who are not in classical music about how they feel and, you know, their approach, like how they would approach listening to classical music and stuff like that. Because I don't know, it just seems like it's so funny because you can identify trends in other actually I'm gonna think about that. I got so many freaking things to think about. Let me not add nothing to the
list. I was at capacity. I felt my chest getting tight. I had to finally write everything down.
Let's see. Straw that broke the Katie's chest. We'll see, but
stuff I gotta
do. But I forgot. What I was about to say. Oh, I think you can identify patterns in other genres of music and how they're marketed and stuff like that. And I feel like, I mean, people who are more in the mix with classical music marketing can let us know, but I feel like it's just not, I don't know if it's less distinct, but it's less like, I feel like elaborate than it is with other, like, other genres. Like, there's so much extra that goes into so much, like, people are really focusing on, like, fan experience and, like, all this type of stuff. Like, it's just more to it. Yeah,
do not go to episode of Hot Ones. Y'all need to go back. Y'all need to do press.
He was on a cooking show a couple years ago.
Was he?
Yeah, I don't remember which one.
Look, yo concert. I want to see Dudamel. Who else? Bombut. I want to see y'all on Hot Ones. I want to see y'all on the Breakfast Club. Go do. You got a concert season opener. Do press. Cause what Megan put out. When I start seeing people around, I'm like, something coming out. Like, if you want, you know what I'm saying. You about to do your season opener, Bombut, you need to go on 7 p.m. Brooklyn or whatever. Like, that's what I need to see happen. Do a real press. I want to see Dudamel on Chicken Shop Date. Like, yeah, gets doing it. Yeah. Dudamel also is in an interesting position because he doesn't have to. Which is like, I need to pay more attention to what marketing. I want to know what the marketing meetings sound like behind closed doors. At LA Phil, New York Phil might do some work, low-key, depending on how much they business out in the streets. But I
mean, I guess I worked in marketing at Seattle Symphony, so I guess I've been in those meetings.
Does Seattle Symphony have to market? Do the girls come?
Yeah, I mean, they certainly have to market. And even when you say oh, Dudamel doesn't have to, I think he does. Especially if you want to like expand and stuff. There's so many people that don't know who Gustavo Dudamel is, and I feel like when we talk about all the stuff you just named, with like maybe I mean like Hot Ones and stuff like that, like just things outside of that, I feel like, you know, he has a nice personality and stuff like that. Like it could really,
he should go Hot Ones. I think he would do very well on that.
Yeah, like
why not?
Yeah, I feel like that. You know.
Or even something more like his speed, like Wild Card. He would be great on Wild Card because it's like people want to know personalities of conductors, and then she really gets into like, it's like personal questions. Let me be on staff for no, actually I don't want to work for nobody, but
consulting.
I'll consult. But yeah, I want to see him on Hot Ones.
Period.
You hear that? That's fine. That'd be cute.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Period. All right, y'all. It's time for Black Excellence, where we hype you up, gas you up, and give your props to the room for everyone at the top. Who are you talking about, Dalanie?
This week, I'm talking about Ismael Guerrero Bombut. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong, Ismael, but I just came across him because, of course, he is one of the semifinalists in the Sphinx competition.
Oh, the cellist?
Shout out to him for that. He's also a resident fellow for the Los Angeles Philharmonic. So he's very, very accomplished. He's performed all over the world, won many competitions. He was born and raised in Havana, Cuba, and has since, had an illustrious career as a soloist, as an orchestral musician. He's performed in Mexico, Switzerland, throughout the United States. As a chamber musician, he's collaborated with a lot of prolific musicians, including himself. And also, he was a member of the renowned Sphinx Virtuosi. and he performed in their Carnegie Hall debut for their 2021-22 tour. He also has made appearances on the radio on several occasions, and he also got a bachelor's of music degree at Peabody, and a master's of music degree at USC, fight on. And he's also has received full scholarships through his studies at both of those institutions. So it's giving in demand.
Let me hold $1.
You said what?
So let me hold $1.
Yeah, right.
You spending money, come off of it then.
Like, he also loves teaching, and he's given master classes at, or he's given a master class at the Heifetz Music Institute in 2018, and also at the University of North Carolina School of the Arts and George Mason University. So I will link his bio so y'all can learn more about him. But period.
Bobby of the week is Sibelius 1 on them, on me. Yeah, man, shout out Sibelius 1. Anyway, this has been long. Thank you if you're still here. Thank you so much for listening to Classically Black Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Classically Black Podcast. Join the Ebony Tower. That's patreon.com/Classically Black Podcast. We have merch. That's classicallyblackpodcast.com/store. Thank you for watching. Nope, wrong outro. Thank you for listening. We'll catch y'all next week.
Or watching.
Watching. Right.
All right, we'll see if the camera's still on. But yeah.
Yep. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.